You might be muted. They must be. Okay.
Hey, right with speak. Can you please unmute the microphone? There's a button on that speakerphone in front of you.
Good afternoon. We are going to go ahead and remain on mute until the hearing begins officially.
We were supposed to start now. We're going to start right now.
Okay, perfect.
Hi, good afternoon, Council. We're just waiting. I'm going to make sure the other board members have joined us. Yes, and they are. Okay, and we're on the record. Council, Mr. Parras,
How you doing, sir?
thank you for your patience this afternoon. The board had a hearing that began at 8:30 this morning that just ended a few minutes ago. So the board is working, but we do appreciate your patience because we are off to a late start. For the record, are you Hector Parras?
Yes, sir, I am.
And is your SID number 04960662?
Correct.
And sir, did you receive your packet of material from the board? Notice
Yes, sir, I
rights
did.
at least 14 days ago, which is
sir.
98 pages.
Yes, sir, I did.
Great. By way of introduction, my name is Don Reese. I'll be leading today's hearing. With me is board member Kelly Kuklinski.
Good afternoon, Mr. Parras. Am I saying
Good
your name
afternoon.
correctly?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, nice to meet you. Thank you.
Good to meet you.
And also we have board member Kara Brooks.
Good afternoon. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
And we have your counsel, Catherine Morris. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm joined by certified law student M. Atkinson, who will be conducting the majority of today's hearing.
Good afternoon.
Okay, great. Hi, Ms. Atkinson. Thank you. Thank you for your work on this case. Also, we have remotely the sister of Mr. Parras, Dora Bentoncourt. Do you mind identifying yourself? I think you're muted.
Yes, I am Dora Betancourt. I'm the sister of Hector Parras.
Great. Okay. And Do you anticipate testifying today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very, very good. And then also we have your daughter, Mr. Parras, Kathy Smith.
Yes.
Right. And then also representing one of the victims in this case, Sandra McCall Rittenbach, who's the sister of murder victim Jeanette McCall. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Thank you. I'm driving, so hopefully I don't lose connection. If I do, I will rejoin. So thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you for being here. The district attorney from the committee and jurisdiction has a legal right to be present at this hearing, but no one from that office is present today. We do have a number of observers who will be watching and listening, although not participating in the hearing, as I understand it. And then we have board staff, notably Ms. Coons, present to run the technical aspects of the hearing, make sure we're on the record and that we all can see and hear each other. This is the time set for your murder review hearing. The board has authority and jurisdiction to hold a hearing on this issue pursuant to RS 163-1052. The sole issue this afternoon to be considered is whether you're likely to be rehabilitated within a reasonable period of time. You have the burden of proving by a preponderance of the evidence the likelihood of rehabilitation within a reasonable period of time. This is not a release hearing, and the board will not be determining whether to release you on parole. This hearing will be conducted in the manner prescribed by ORS 163-105, in the manner provided in administrative rules of the Oregon Board of Parole and Post-Prison Supervision. After the completion of today's hearing, the board will issue a written order, which will be sent to you usually within 30 days. In terms of the exhibits before the board, we have the packet that was sent to you, which is 98 pages. We have materials submitted by your attorney, which is 81 pages. And then there's an addendum to petitioner's memorandum that was just received by the board, submitted January the 6th. Counsel, are there any other additional exhibits that you'd like to offer?
No, sir.
All right. And do you have any objections to the exhibits I just mentioned?
No, we don't.
All right. So all of those exhibits will be received. I'll note for the record, there are no confidential documents before the board, meaning that the materials you have are the materials that the board has. So, counsel, before I swear in the witnesses, are there any preliminary matters that you wish to raise?
Yeah, we would like to make a quick correction to our addendum. It was our mistake. We listed the job opportunity offered by Seattle Betancourt, Mr. Parras's nephew, incorrectly. It is not Hillsborough Masonry Inc. It is Priority Moving. So we just wanted to make that quick correction right off the bat.
Okay, very good. Priority Moving. And I'm sure you'll discuss that during the hearing or the board will ask about it. But thank you for making that correction. Is there anything else?
Nope, we're ready to proceed.
All right. So let's begin by swearing in your client and those individuals, excluding the victim representative, who are planning on testifying today. So for those folks, and as I understand it, it would be Mr. Parras, Dora Betancourt, and Kathy Smith. So for those of you, then please raise your right hand.
Me too.
Do you solemnly and truly swear or affirm that the testimony you provide in this hearing will be the truth?
I do.
And folks who are being sworn in, unmute yourself, please, and if you could respond.
I do.
I do.
I do.
All right, very good. Thanks all of you, and you can put down your right hands. All right, counsel, do you or your client wish to make an opening statement at this time?
I do wish to make an opening statement at this time. Are you going to make an opening?
Yeah, you can go and read this.
Wait, I'll make.
Okay.
So, board, thank you for being here. Hector Parras has maintained his innocence for 47 years, and you're not going to hear different than that today. He is going to continue to assert his innocence. But what you are going to hear differently today is that we hope to demonstrate his rehabilitation and his growth as a person in a way it has not previously been demonstrated before this board. Hector has become an incredibly positive figure, both in his community at Oregon State Penitentiary and to his family. And we hope to show you how positive a figure he's been. And we also hope to show you the level of support that he has on the outside to help transition him to living in the community upon his release. That is why we have many members of his family here to support him today. So at this time, Hector would like to say a few words as well.
I want to thank the chairperson and the members of the parole board for allowing me to come before you this day. I wrote down my parole plan and everything that I have accomplished while I've been here in OSP. And if I could, I'd like to read it to you. If I could. Okay,
I'm sorry to interrupt. Is council, is this a different document than the one that the board has?
Yes, he has written out an opening statement that the board does not have. Yes.
Oh, okay. But I thought he said he was going to read his role plan.
No, he is
Oh, yeah.
reading
Oh, yeah.
a opening statement that he has
Okay.
written.
opening statement I have. Okay,
Okay, my apologies, and please proceed.
thank you. Members of the parole board, my real bad teaching hearing as I began doing time at OSP, I felt like my life falling apart and my world had just collapsed. I was full of anger, miserable and depressed, discouraged with what had happened in my life. I picked myself up and decided to get involved in programming. That was the best choice that I have ever made. When I began my rehabilitation process, you could imagine how encouraging I was to realize that my earlier fear and despair were merely stepping stones to the help I needed. Rehabilitation must be sought in order to be found. I needed to strip myself of pride, pleasures, and being arrogant and self. Rehabilitation, it doesn't arrive in front of your cell door wrapped in a bowl. Well, it's healthy to reflect on the many years I have completed. It's important to embrace each day and approach it with openness, gratitude, and hope. In my times of trouble and challenges, my faith and hope became my refuge. I didn't have to be afraid. It helps and motivates me to step out in obedience and be humble, even if doing so seemed impossible. Follow down don't make you a failure. Staying down makes you a failure. Comfort is a very strong word. It enables me to love others and one another, desiring the best for them despite our differences and disagreements. My biggest encouragement was when the captain that retired visited me and showed the support and embracing me. Talk about encouragement. It had a big expression with this meant to me at that time. The simple act of genuine compassion lifted me up, renewed my strength, and let me know that I wasn't alone. I have never forgotten it. I found joy and encouragement even in moments of suffering and discouragement. Joy shows up not only in happy times, but also in times of trials. This doesn't mean we can or should shrug off pain or disappointments or try not to feel sorrow. when we have good cause. I don't settle for change in happiness in this discouraging world. Even if you catch it, it won't last. People try to pair happiness to joy, but they are not the same. Happiness will run out the door as soon as trials show up, but joy will stick with you through the good and the bad. I've determined instead to accept and receive the gift of joy and then watch it in amazement as my life becomes a regular source of encouragement to everyone I encounter. I have learned that patience, love, kindness, humbleness, and perseverance will strip away all your excuse. It will booster your confidence and enable me to make the most of each day, whatever life will bring my way. The ability to receive pictures and cards and love, phone calls and support of special moments from my family on the outside plays a huge part in my role of rehabilitation process. So how did I do it and more? Because I needed to, but more important, I wanted to. When this level of will is paired with a deep rooted humility, there's something in the heart and mind that it unlocks. New thoughts of love and kindness and compassion comes out of nowhere. Amazing what a change of heart can do. True humility conquers fear because you're no longer afraid to fail. Despite having years worth of time in OSP, when I first started, instead of waking my will and heart to listen and learn, I hid in the shadow of fear, missing out on so many beautiful things that OSP had to offer. I wish a wishy-washy and take humility just don't cut it. It's got to be real deep and paired with the will to go beyond your inability. I learned to a successful man is one who can try firm foundation with the bricks others throw at him. Blessing to me aren't meant to end with my desires is that they filter down to others. This principle applies in all areas of our life. I believe that hospitality doesn't come from material sources, but from a heart that sees and serves others with love and kindness and compassion. Having peace in the heart joins, ties together in a whole. All the broken pieces of ourselves were back put together. All the gaps were filled. We don't have an empty heart anymore. There's now nothing missing, nothing broken. Meditation and wearing the tools I have learned by programming on my sleeves daily helps me to catch a glimpse of my longing or to become the best person I can be, to lean into the weight of this new character. Our learned strength comes in many forms, so does weaknesses. We all face some things that shake us to the core, such as self-doubt, poor choices, and especially pride. Always seeking to be toughful in the large and small things. That's the kind of preparation I can make, not just today, but every day of my life. Goals don't come easy for anyone, no matter the line of our work. I heard years ago, if your Bible is falling apart, this usually means that you're not. Thank you for your time. Much respect.
Thank you very much for those thoughtful comments. I can tell you spent a lot of time probably writing your thoughts down. Well, Council, normally this would be the time, unless you don't want to go in this order, that you would call any witnesses that you'd like to testify before the board.
Yes, we'd like to have Ms. Dora Betancourt speak first.
All right, so then if you could just unmute yourself, and then counsel, you can proceed with a direct examination.
Hi, Dora. Can you briefly introduce yourself again and explain your relationship with Hector?
My name is Dora Betancourt, and I am Hector's second to the oldest sister. And my brother and I, Hector, have a very good, strong relationship. I've been right there from the beginning to support him on his hard times. I know it was super, super rough being so young and going into this really heavy accusations. He really didn't know what life was all about. At the moment, he was super negative and hurt and scared what he was going to be facing. He went through some tough challenges, but I am so happy right now to see that there has been a great, great change in his life. The life has not been easy, but like he said, he shared with me that he made a choice. He made a choice to use his time to find where he was at and to become better and to take advantage of the programs to better find himself. And I am so proud of him because he took that advantage, and I know where he stands now. He's very strong. He joined in his GD, accomplished it. I have his diplomas in my house, in his room. He accomplished playing drums. He liked music. He playing drums. He likes sports. His biggest sport was baseball. I got trophies of him participating in it. So every time he would talk to me, he was going up positive, positive.
Thank you, Dora.
And I believe that when there's a way, when there's a will, there's a way.
Thank you,
And he
Dora.
has a
Thank you, Dora. Can you describe a little bit, as you said, you've been with Hector since he was first incarcerated. Can you describe a little bit about the changes you've seen in him between then and now, especially around like his anger?
He was very, like I said, he was very bitter. He was angry. He was hurt. He was scared because of the fact what he was in. And I know that he had told me that he had been accused of something he didn't do, but then when he was there, he was going to do something to feel like he did being accused of doing something. Well, I know he got in trouble, but with that point, he right away learned that he needed to change his life, and he didn't want that life no more. So that's where he turned. He turned his life to education. He turned his life to be more strong, to be a better person. So he started getting involved with all these programs that there was available for him. And the more he got involved, the more he was feeling strong. He was feeling that that's what he wanted. He wanted an education that he never did accomplish. So he found out that he had so much to give and learn. So he participated in every program that was in there. And he even participated in spiritually biblical. So that has made a big change in the way he talks, the way he shares with people, the way he communicates. Because now when I go see him, I have the privilege to meet his friends to tell me that Hector has done a great part in their life and have changed their lives too. So if he's done that for himself and he's doing it to the people in there, that's a big turn around for his life, for a better, positive, stronger person.
Can you describe a little bit further sort of the interactions you've had with other inmates, kind of talking about what your brother has done for them and the help he's provided?
Yes, there's been times where we've gone to visit him, and some of his friends have had their families to come and visit them. So they right away stop, and then my brother gets up and introduce his friends to us, to me and my sister. And the first thing that comes out of their mouth is they appreciate, this is the way they say, we appreciate your brother Hector very much because we did not have a good head. We were very negative. And when we met your brother, he changed our attitudes. And now I have a better head to feel better about myself and to look positive in what I'm doing. So that means to us a lot. We're not there within 24 hours, but the change of his life shows it by others that are around him. Those people that are there 24 hours can tell me, share with us what a change in my brother's life has been. So that really is a big blessing to me because there's others that are surrounding him that are giving me this information.
Thank you, Dora. I want to talk a little bit about Hector's release plan. So you own a home in Cornelius, Oregon, correct?
Yes, I own a 4-bedroom house.
Okay, and just for the board's understanding, that is in Washington County, is where Cornelius, Oregon is. And Hector, when he's released, will be staying in your house, yeah?
Yes, I have opened my house to my brother, and whatever he needs, I'm very strong here to support him. I have a room already prepared for him. I will take time to show you what I have in this room for him, so you can see. Let me see if I'm pointing it right.
So this is the room that you have prepared for Hector to stay in.
Yes. I can have his trophies on the dressers. I have on the wall, I have his diplomas. And then if you look around, I have his bed and scrapbook, and then folder of his educations. And then I had to end up getting a little Christmas spirit, so I put away in the manger. And as we look around, I have set up for a TV, a dresser, and his cassettes. I know he likes music. And my brother was a big fan of building up model cars. So I got some cars here set up for him.
Wow. That's cool.
So this
Yeah.
is a very special room for him that I have treasured for a long, long time.
Dora, you've muted yourself on accident. Can you unmute?
I'm willing to be a strong supporter in everything that he needs. I am be here for him. If he needs transportation, I have that to support him. If he needs a job, I work for a company 35 years that I can also get him a job there. So we're pretty much full hands for him here.
Thank you. And I want to kind of go into a little bit more detail. So as far as the transportation aspect, you live pretty close to a bus line. Do I have that correct?
Yes, I'm only 2 blocks from the main bus line.
Okay. So he would be able to
if,
bus anywhere he needed to go.
Yes. But I'm sure that wouldn't be a problem because, like I say, I have transportation that would carry on whenever he needs it for a job search or other needs.
Wonderful. And then, so you've spoken a little bit about the job you're at. You're confident you could get him an offer from the company you're at. And then your son and your daughter have both spoken about having jobs available for him as well, if those were more preferable. Can you describe those a little
Correct.
bit?
My daughter she's a district manager for private service. So public service. So she works for garbage service. So she has multiple areas where she goes ahead and has multiple groups of people working for her. So that would not be a problem at all for him to get a job with her right away. My son works for a moving company that moves people. So my son is always having a lot of people come and go. So that would be another opportunity for him to work with him, which they can ride together. And that's only 10 miles, no, 15 minutes from where we live in Hillsborough.
And then if for some reason Hector was unable to find a job sort of immediately and needed some time and some support, do you have the resources to support him financially for a time?
Yes, I do. I do. I am pretty comfortable, and I know that where there's a will, there's a way, and we will go ahead and go for it strong.
All right, thank you. And then one of the things that I know the board will be concerned about with Hector is making sure he keeps his sobriety. Do you drink, Dora?
No, never.
Do you have any alcohol in your house whatsoever?
No, no.
What about drugs? Do you smoke weed or any other substance?
No, never done that either. Never been a part of any of that. I take my health very seriously. So I eliminate a lot of things that would affect my body. So no,
Okay. And then
none of that.
if Hector were to struggle with his sobriety or even have a relapse, are you prepared to support him through that?
Oh, yes. Yes.
And does that
I'm very
include?
strong. I'm very strong in continue to support my brother. He's been through a lot, and as long as I'm strong and healthy, I'm right there beside him to help him continue with his life and to be as strong as he is showing right now that he is. And he's willing to show the history of what he's learned, of what he's taken, the courses. He is more positive than I ever heard him in my life. So I know that he is strong and has a good head to start a new future.
All right. And that support, you've already mentioned transportation. That would include, if needed, driving him to AA meetings or NA meetings or any sort of counseling he might need.
Yes, yes, I am willing to. I get off work at 2:30, so whatever he needs, I'm ready to be a chauffeur.
All right. Thank you so much, Dora. That's all the
Thank you.
questions that we have for Dora. Chairperson Reese or other board members, if you have questions.
Sure, I do have one question. You know, it's been made very clear to the board that your brother maintains his innocence. I assume you believe he's innocent. Is that right?
With all my heart.
Okay, so, but the reality is, you know, he has been convicted of 2 serious crimes, and if he's released into the community, he'll be on post-prison supervision, and he'll have a supervisory officer, and he'll be required by law to do certain things that might include, for example, sex offender treatment. How would you view those requirements placed on your brother, even though you and he believe that he's not even guilty of the crimes he's been convicted of?
Sir, I believe with all my heart what I just said, but I know that whatever it takes to be here to support him, I'm willing to take the steps that I need to take to support him.
Okay, so and my question might not have been very clear, but for example, sometimes people might think, well, I don't really need to go to this treatment, or I really don't need to check in with my PO because I didn't do anything. What would you do if your brother said to you, you know, I don't want to do these things because these are the kinds of things that guilty people do?
No, I will not avoid him not going. I will be the strong person to get him in there and tell him you're going because I'm going to take you. And if I have to go with him and sit with him, then that's what I'm going to do.
Okay, well, thank you, and thank you for your continued support and relationship with your brother. That's very important, and it's very fortunate for him. Let me check in with Board Member Kuklinski to see if she has any follow-up questions.
Good afternoon, Ms. Betancourt. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the tour of the bedroom that you've prepared for your brother. It's really clear that you obviously deeply care about your brother. He's very, very lucky to have you. You know, and I appreciate you telling us a little bit about your home and showing us around. I'm curious, who else resides in the home with you?
My son, he's 22, but he'll be 23 the 20th of this month.
Okay, and is this the son that's referenced in the materials that also has a job prospect for your brother?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so it's just the two of you that are living in the home then?
Correct.
Okay, and are there any minors or anything that are in the home or that come visit the home?
No, no, because all my family live in Eastern Oregon, and then the people that I know, they don't have no minors, so we really don't have, I would say, visitors. It's just mostly, you know, like us, him and I go to work, he goes to work, I come home, and if I do have a coworker friend, like a lady, she just comes from work, and then that's it.
Okay. And that was just to kind of, you know, tail on to what Board Member Reese was talking about, just because he would have restrictions from being around minors, at least for a period of time until a PO could, you know, do proper assessments and that sort of thing and, you know, make any sort of modifications if they determine them to be appropriate. Do you have any weapons in your home at all?
No.
No. Okay. And how do you feel about POs coming to your home? Sometimes they are well identified in uniform and conducting home visits and that sort of thing.
I'm okay. I don't have nothing to hide. My home is open. My home is very comfortable. So anytime they want, they're welcome to come.
And then my last question for you, are there anything, when you think about your brother getting out after, you know, 47, 48 years of incarceration, what are the biggest stressors that you think of, your biggest concerns in making that transition for him?
Learning the way of the world. He's going to start fresh, you know, learning how things run out here. I know there's a big difference between there in prison, you're very limited. When you're out, there's more options. You got more concentration, more opportunity to do things. So I think, and I believe that would be a little bit of a struggle for him, trying to see, you know, how to start. But I'm here to help him.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you answering my questions, and I will check in with Miss Brooks to see if she has any follow-up. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Betancourt. I don't have any questions. I just want to say that I also really appreciated seeing the room tour. It's obvious that you care deeply about your brother, and he's really lucky to have such a strong source of support. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank all of you.
Thank you, Dora.
Thank you, Dora.
All right, so if
Thank
there's
you
no,
very much.
thank you. So if there's no further questions for this witness counsel, you can call your next witness.
All right, we'd like to hear testimony from Kathy Smith next.
All right.
All right. Hi, Kathy. Can you briefly introduce yourself to the board and your relationship with Hector?
I'm Kathy Smith. I'm one of Hector's 8 kids, 9.
And can you briefly introduce, there are quite a few people in the room with you. Can you briefly go around the room and introduce all of those people as well?
I will. So I have Tony Smith, who is my cousin. Behind her is David Glenn, my dad's attorney for the case that we're going up against. The late Rebecca McPherson, she helped me. And it's my sister, his brother Rudy Parras, Frank Martinez, brother-in-law, Mikey Hamilton, Sharon Smith, my mother, Abby Martinez, Renee Wheeler, who is a pastor's wife, and then Janie Perez, which is his sister as well. Or I mean, Patino, sorry, his sister as well. Sorry about that. And Carrie,
All right.
Dave's secretary.
Hi. All right. Thank you all for being here today to support Hector. How did you all come to? So I know you've been working really hard to find as much as you can about your dad's cases in an effort to exonerate him. Can you describe how that started and how you all kind of came to be doing that together?
So my older sister, Cody, was helping my dad looking for, gathering evidence and stuff. And she passed away of cancer, I believe. And like a year later, I'd received a note from my father, a letter, and it was a legal paperwork, and it had David Glenn's name on the bottom of it, whom I know. So I came down and spoke with Dave about the case. From there, I brought it up. It was in church, started talking about it. My pastor's wife, who has went through some things in her life, said, hey, I'll help you with it. My sister, who works at the Warm Springs Clinic, but also, how do you say it, Rebecca?
Medical legal death investigator.
She's a medical legal death investigator. Started listening to us, so she came on board with me. My cousin Tony, who knows how to navigate through legal stuff and find paperwork, all this sort of just came together and decided to start helping me do it. So over the last 2 years, we have been just gathering information, trying to do research to help prove his innocence and get stuff together to try to help him.
All right, thank you for that. And I know from my own and Catherine's efforts that it's been pretty difficult to find sort of documents from the original trial, from the original investigations. Has that been your experience as well?
Yes, it is. So the documents that we did come up with, Dave Glenn has been amazing. Him and Carrie have given me quite a bit. Dora, I reached out to Dora and together she's been helping. We sort of combined our stuff. When contacting the courthouses or other agencies, they tell us that the case is too old or that we have to go in front of a judge, and it was dead ends all the way. So it was a struggle.
All right, thank you for sharing that. How old were you when your dad was incarcerated?
I believe I was 2 years old when he first got arrested.
Okay. Did you have any relationship with him before he was incarcerated?
No.
So your entire relationship has been built while he's been at OSP. What has it been like? How did you build that relationship from scratch?
It started when I was about 12, writing letters. And then I actually went to see him at age 14, 15 when I had my first child. We took her in to go see him. And through that, it's been through letters. I mainly got to know him. I know people that I have friends who have been incarcerated that he's helped. And so I've got to learn his character through that and by him counseling me as well.
Can you describe a little bit more sort of how he's tried to counsel and help you, and then also the people on the inside that what he's done for them?
So there was a time when I was going through some things in my life. It was a trying time. And he always told me, to pray, to always seek to do better, to utilize the programs. I think that's where I learned it from, was seeing everything that he's accomplished, because I do the same thing out here and it's helped me to be a better person. But always told me, to never give up and keep going forward. Some of my friends that are in there, and this, I'm just going to give you one example because it's recent, within the last year or whatever, is a troubled kid that was in OSP. He's, a gang member. My dad was able to get him a job with him in the control room, which I guess is unheard of, and help him to try to start doing programs and start really reaching out to him and, sort of leading him around the prison, having him stay out of trouble. And there's other people that he's done that for as well. They
Right.
say he's an inspiration in there.
Well, thank you for sharing that. What would it mean to you to have your dad out of prison after so
I feel
long?
like that would be like the missing piece to the whole you know, our whole life. So like I said, I'm one of 10 of his kids. And from that, so he's a father, he's an uncle, you know, he's a brother. He's also a grandfather and a great grandfather. For me alone, he has 4 grandkids and 14 great grandkids. He has a huge family that need their grandpa, that have never met him. The kids can't go in. There's a lot of them, you know, they can't go in to see him. He's met a few of them, not very many, but yes, it would mean that our family would be complete because we have been robbed from that for this whole time.
Yeah. And you know, he's obviously he's been incarcerated for
Yes.
a very long time, and it will inevitably be a big transition coming out, you know, from being incarcerated for so long and then coming out into a world that's very different than the one he left. Are you willing to help ease him through that transition and support him when he needs it?
Oh, very much so. Yes, I would love to help Dora. Like Dora said, we'll do whatever we need to help the transition. There's so many resources out here to help, you know, people coming out of prison or whatever. And I've used some of those resources. I've never been in prison, but I mean, I know about the resources that the community have to help people that are coming back into the community. Not only that, we have a huge family, you know, and we all, lean on one another. So I feel like that's a key thing. And he has a big one. So I feel like his areas of support, we would all band together and do what needed to be done to help him succeed.
All right, and just to get ahead of something I'm sure that the board is concerned about, you know, you heard them tell Dora that he's likely not going to be allowed contact with minors, and that will likely include his great-grandchildren and any grandchildren who are minors. Are you comfortable with waiting for any sort of meetings and supporting him, even though he won't necessarily be able to? Yeah.
Of course, that's what family does. And we've waited this long, so it'd just be that much more. There'll be a time he'll be able to see, you know, we can still do the video visits or whatever, but yes. And we support him going through whatever he needs to do until this all blows over. You know what I mean? We've been waiting for this for a long time.
All right. Thank you so much, Chairperson Reese. That's all of the questions I have. So if you have questions for Kathy, I'd like to turn it over to you.
Thank you very much. It just to clarify, I'm not the chair of the board. I am presiding over this particular hearing, but I'm not the chair. But you know, I appreciate the honorary title. So here's a question for you. You mentioned that you're one of 10 children fathered by your dad. If I did the math right, there's probably more than one mom involved.
Yes,
so
that is correct.
How many moms are part of the family?
You know,
There was just Cody and Jessica.
oh, I don't know. Dad said that there's
There
10.
was another one, but we don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know. The only ones that I do know, and this came from him, so I didn't find out about me having siblings from him until later. Cody, I knew about Cody from an early age, and then I met Jessica through writing and stuff later. I didn't find out about the other kids until my sister and mother went to see him, and then when he had called, he'd asked me to research on some other. I can't even remember the girl's name though, and there's some boys involved, so I'm not sure. I haven't been in to see my father. My sister and mother did.
Oh, okay. And so how have you been able to maintain a relationship with your dad over the years? Has it been through letters or the phone or in-person visits or all of the above?
So a little of both, all of the above.
And when did you become old enough to start this relationship?
So like I had mentioned before, I was around 12 when we started writing letters and talking on the phone. I was almost 15 when I was able to go into the prison with my daughter that I just had to visit him. And after that, it's just been video visits, phone calls, and letters.
Okay, well, that's terrific. I mean, maintaining a relationship with someone in a correctional facility like that is so important. And so I know that's been important for your dad, and I know he appreciates that. There's a technical issue not related to the facts of this case in any way, but there is a technical issue that the board needs to have a recess in order to address. So council, appreciate your patience on this. We're going to take a 5-minute recess, and then we'll come back and I'll check with my fellow board members to see if they have any follow-up questions from this witness. 5 minutes, that'll be 2:15.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, this is Kim Coons. It looks like it's going to be maybe about 10 more minutes, so thank you for your patience. If Mr. Parras, if you need to get up and use the restroom or stretch your legs, feel free to do so. Hopefully by about 2:30, we'll be ready to proceed. Hello, OSP. We're going to restart here in just a minute.
All right, Catherine Morris and Hector Parras have just stepped out to each take a bathroom break. Right as you
okay.
got back on, I'm so sorry, but they'll be back in
Just
just a
bad
minute.
timing, right?
Yeah.
We'll wait till we see him come back into the room.
Okay, thank you so
you.
much.
All right. I think I'm going to actually step out and get a glass of water since we're still waiting. Great. Thank you. All right. I am back, and look, counsel, is your client back?
Hector will just be one more moment.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know if the camera was just turned a bit.
Yeah,
so.
no, yes, totally understandable. He's not quite back yet. We'll just need
Okay.
one more moment.
All right. All right.
All right, thank you for your patience. We're all ready to go.
All right. We're back on the record, and I need to put something on the record. We've been in recess, as it turns out, for a little over 30 minutes, not like the 5 I optimistically predicted. And so what the board has been discussing is OAR 255-030-0026 sub 6 that grants the board the authority to eject disruptive persons from a board hearing. In this case, the disruption is a person who is live streaming this hearing. So the board has that authority to eject the person if they don't cease the disruption. So the board is going to give the person, James Flores, the opportunity to now stop live streaming the hearing. And if they choose not to stop live streaming, they will be ejected from this hearing. So I'm going to wait for confirmation the live streaming has stopped. If it does not stop immediately, then that person will be ejected. All right, I'm understanding that the live streaming is continuing. So Ms. Coons, I'll ask you to please eject the disruptive person from the meeting. Thank you.